Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to show you how to build a MySQL MCP DB server using Claude Code. First of all, let's create a new directory. Yeah, because I'm going to use bound, so it's going to be bound DB MCP. Let's enter the folder and start Claude Code. Okay. This folder is empty, and we want to build everything from scratch. The quickest way to do that is just to find the existing MCP server from the GitHub. So the easiest one I might have discovered is this one. So basically, it's a very good tutorial, and you can read about how to use it. If you look at GitHub, there's only one source code, which is index.ts, so it's TypeScript. Yeah, we can ignore all this system prompt because we are going to build our own. But the structure is quite simple and similar. We don't need to understand everything. You just copy the URL and come to your Claude Code. And let's say, for now, we just need to be very clear. You need to use bound, do not use npm. My habit of using Claude Code is not to run everything just from this command line. I always want to build a spec, build a plan. I review the plan and then ask Claude Code to implement that plan. Right? So here we can say, okay. So it's going to take a while. And after it finishes, let's just come back.
Mission accomplished.
Okay, it finished building the plan. Let's just take a look at how it works.
Ross, agent needs your input.
Okay, it is my input. And I am going to use cursor to open that file. Let's just open a folder. Yeah, so this is my cursor folder here. That seems good. And now we can just use Claude. I use -C to continue the session. And now I can just say implement this file. Yeah, let's just take a look. So this hello tool is some tool definition, and the tool's name is say hello. It has description, and it also has input schema. So the schema tells the large language model and how to call this tool. Yeah, basically for every tool calling, there should be two steps. The first step is just to call a list tool request schema. And this one is going to be used to list all the existing tools, available tools. Right? And the second one is call the
Ross,
tools.
agent needs your input.
So this is the main tool calling handler. Your large language model need to call this handler to actually execute the tool. As our first example, we say hello. This one is quite simple. It just does nothing. It only returns a content. The text is actually hello, the name, welcome to the MCP server.
Mission accomplished.
Okay, it has done a job. And we can quickly test whether it works or not.
Ross, agent needs your input.
I think that's done. It does not need my input anymore. And so if you take a look, let's just take a look at the package.json, how to run it. So this should be the command to run it. If we do again run, yeah, there's no error. MCP server has two transport modes. One is stdio, the other is SSE. So most likely for our local MCP server, we're going to use the stdio one. Just something like this, right? You execute this command, it's actually create a process, and this process is running on the background by your MCP client, right? To test whether it works or not, we need MCP client. And the one I really like to use is Postman. So here, if you have Postman, the most recent version of Postman to test MCP server is just by clicking File, you click New. There should be a MCP you can find. Yeah, I did it, so it's showed up at the first. You click MCP, and here you can just do your quick test. So you do like this. SRC index.ts, and let's just do a click button. So now you can see it has been connected. The tools prompts and the resources, we didn't write anything, so you wouldn't see anything, but tool you can see. So this is actually, it's calling the list command to list all the available tools. And we only have one, which is say hello. If you click this one, and from the schema, it has one property, which is a name, and then you click run button. So you see it just exactly returned the things you wrote in your code, which is at here. Here's this content. So it's here. Okay. Now we have built a very simple MCP server, and it's actually just a framework. Next, we'll add some more useful database tools to this MCP server. Okay, now we have a working sample. Let's say hello, but actually it's working. Let's just commit the current status. We do commit.
Mission accomplished.
So if we check history, you see this, the first one has been committed. Okay, now let's do something interesting. What we actually want is not a simple hello world. We want to build DB. And so for Node.js, there's a very good library, MySQL 2. This one. So we want to use this one to build our DB MCP. And you don't need to do anything manually, actually. So you just tell Claude Code what to do. And you say, create another plan. So this plan should be the one. DB MCP.md, which should do the following. One, install dependencies. MySQL 2, and we need the env because we need to store the MySQL sequentials here. Better you store the env. The next one is to add more tools, such as connection, query, create, update, delete, and maybe just read schema. If you have many tables, you need the MCP to have the ability to read the table schema first. Next one, create an appropriate test. And same as before, just create it. Do not input. Okay, the implementation is done. It looks very nice. More stuff has been created. And we see more tools, not just to say hello, but all the DB operations. Right, so we have 6 tools at here. And this tool call, this function, will be executed by the MCP's main handler, which is a set request handler. So all the tool call will go to this handler, and inside this handler function, this handle to call works as a router. Depending on what name and arguments you pass, it can do different operations. So let's take a look at the Postman MCP client. Okay, let's come back to the Postman. A different thing is here, we need to specify the environment because you need this one to connect to DB. Do not confuse this one with the .env file, because all these things only for local debugging, but it cannot be used by your MCP client. So once this one is ready, you can do a connect. So now you come to the tools page, you see more tools are listed, all the 6 tools from the DB operations. You can't do the query at this moment. You see the database not connected. You need to do the connection first. This connection also supports 3 options: connect, disconnect, and status. Let's choose connect. So if the DB is connected, then you can come to the query. And this time you execute this one, call tool. It just returns all the rows, corresponding 10 rows for the employees table. Okay, I think that wraps up our guide to build MCP server. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, just leave all your comments. Thank you very much and see you next time.